Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and welcome to my long-awaited encounter tracker guide for PokeMMO. Now, this was a mechanic that was finally added officially to the game on July 10th, 2025, and players have been asking for an in-game encounter counter for so long, and we finally got one. And then we got a fair bit of updates afterwards, kind of tweaking it. Now, it's mostly simple, but there's still a lot of confusing basics that if you didn't cover every single dev blog along the way or every single update post, you might not realize how do you get it, how do you open it back up, all these things. I see these questions a ton, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First things first, you unlock your encounter counter after defeating your first Elite Four. That allows it to, you have to have access to it, and none of your encounters prior tracked. As well as, even if you had all 5 storylines done prior to the update, the game cannot go back and retroactively add your encounters. So once you log on for the first time after the encounter counter has been added, you will start at 0. Now, another common misconception with any sort of encounter tracker for a lot of new players is that watching your number go up does not increase your odds of getting a shiny. It is simply tracking your encounters. Think of it as every time you get a wild encounter, it's like rolling a 1 in 30,000 sided die, because the shiny rate's 1 in 30,000 in PokeMMO. That die, that physical object, does not remember how many times it's been rolled. It simply keeps rolling every time you get an encounter. So you could be at 7,000 encounters or 70,000 encounters, and your shiny rate is still going to be physically 1 in 30,000. Now, it can get a lot more convoluted and complicated that with like overall probabilities and binomial distribution, and I am not mathematically educated enough to really go into the great detail. Nor is that what this video is about. Let's go ahead and talk about the encounter counter itself. So if you happen to hit this X button and get rid of it, you can go ahead and bring it back up by going down to the bottom right, clicking the Pokedex button, and then clicking encounter tracker. You can make it smaller by hitting the minus button, and the plus by hitting the, making it a little bit larger, showing a little bit more details and showing what Pokemon you recently encountered. You can also double click the total, or just click the total little icon up there, and it'll open up this screen. On the screen, you can see your history of shinies. You can see how many encounters you caught them at, as well as how many species of that Pokemon you specifically saw. You can also see your catch date and your catch time, as well as click on that specific Pokemon and bring up the menu, which you first saw when you caught the Pokemon, as well as seeing the IVs from this page. The devs really did outdo themselves with this update. People have been asking for it for a super long time, and they added so many extra little pieces of information and data that people love to keep track of. All right, now the important part, going through this list of all the different things you can track, and this is just changing what's going to show physically in your top right corner. It's not actually changing your hunt or anything like that. So you can click last shiny. This is going to track until your last shiny. This is what most people click, but you can also click this. It's going to show your total encounters you've gotten since the encounter tracker has been installed. This does not mean I'm 63,000 encounters dry. It just means I've gotten that many encounters in total since the encounter's been installed. Once again, a lot of people kind of get that confused. We can unclick that and make it a bit more clear. This is how your traditional encounter counter used to look. You can also go down through things like species rollover, wild. A lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. Like wild, encounters are just wild encounters. Pretty simple. You can do wild sweet scent versus like running and randomly getting a sweet scent, which has a chance when you're single encountering. Wild other, which is mostly swarms and phenos, if I recall correctly. Your alpha wild encounters, your raid encounters, all of these ones are pretty self-explanatory. Any mysterious Pokeball, any mysterious ball Pokemon, any egg Pokemon you've gotten are right here. Fossil Pokemon are all right here. And then Trip. Trip is an interesting one. Trip is something that I use when I'm hunting one of the legendaries. You can go ahead and click Start Trip, and that's going to rewrite a trip from scratch, which is basically just, it's basically your only way to affect the encounter counter or track your own sort of hunt if you would like to do so. Because you physically cannot reset this encounter counter the way you used to with the mods that we used to use prior to this. You used to be able to like go and adjust the numbers and change things if something messed up or you wanted to do something, whatever. But people would use that to like cheat, or you could like technically, false create encounters. This is a surefire system where nobody can like cheat the encounter counter, which is so important for integrity when it comes to shiny hunting. When someone gets a shiny at X encounters, you know for sure that they did versus maybe they're fudging their numbers. You can also pin a Pokemon, so you can see here Chansey's actually pinned on my Trip. That's because on my Ironman account, I was farming Dittos over in Johto, and there's a chance for Chansey's there, and I would thief every Chansey that I saw to try to get a lucky egg. So you could do things like that, like track how many Chanseys you run into over at a location, over at a trip, and then also see how many lucky eggs you get to see, oh, how common is it to actually see a lucky egg from a Chansey. I feel like species rollover is the only like super not full explanatory one in the name. Species rollover just puts the number of total Pokemon you've seen, even if they don't add up to your total encounters dry. So for example, let's go and sort by this. You can see my total dry since my last shiny is only 6,999 encounters, but I have seen in total almost 8,000 Donphans, which is obviously higher than this number. So it's rolling over and showing all of the Pokemon you've seen on all of your previous shuns without showing your total number any higher. I don't know why you would need this as an option. It's kind of the weirdest one in my opinion, but you know what? More data is more data. I definitely do recommend using that pin function whenever you want to if you're on a specific shiny hunt like Time Swipe Hordes of Wooper, just to keep track of things and really focus on that species. But other than that, that's really it. It's a pretty simple, newer update. It's been in the game for about 5 months now at this point. Hopefully this taught you guys at least one little thing, one, new detail. If you've been playing a ton, you're probably fine. But if you're a returning player, which we get a ton of in PokeMMO, I'm hoping this video or guide was a little bit helpful. Like it if it was, dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily videos every single day. I do upload a PokeMMO video every single day. And follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your shiny hunts. But for now, peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.